Good morning, all. This is Sangeetha from Civil Department, VSB Engineering College, Karur. In this lecture, we will be discussing about the subject Environmental Impact Assessment, which is one of the professional elective paper in civil engineering domain. The syllabus covered in this subject is Unit 1 Introduction, and Unit 2 deals with impact identification and prediction, and Unit 3 deals with socio-economic impact assessment, and in Unit 4 EIA documentation and environmental management plan, and the last unit deals with the case studies. So at the end of this subject, the students will be able to carry out scoping and screening of developmental projects and uh, different methodologies for environmental impact assessment. The next one is they will be able to access socio-economic investigation of the environment in a project and plan environment impact assessments, and they will be able to prepare environmental impact assessment for various projects. So these are the course outcomes for the subject. And in this lecture, I will be giving you a gist of the introduction, which comes under chapter 1. So the topic which is covered in this chapter is historical development of EIA, environmental clearance, EIA in project cycle, and legal and regulatory aspects in India, and what are the types and limitations of EIA, the process involved in EIA, that is screening, scoping, and terms of reference in EIA, and setting, analysis and mitigation, cross-sectoral issues, public hearing in EIA, and last one is EIA consultant accreditation. So defining the subject name, it is a process of evaluating environmental impacts of a proposed project or a development, taking into account interrelated socio-economic, cultural and human health impacts, both beneficial impacts and adverse impacts. So this is the definition of that EIA. And the objectives of EIA, why we need to study like that. So it is useful for identifying, predicting and evaluating economic, environmental and social impacts of the development activities, and providing information on the environmental consequences for decision making, and finally it will help to promote environmentally sound and suitable development by identifying appropriate alternatives and mitigation measures. And the importance of environmental assessment is this a good tool for prudent environment management. It is a government policy that any industrial project in India has to get EIA clearance, that is environmental clearance certificate from the Environment Ministry before the approval of the project itself. The next one is history of EIA. As explained in this picture, it shows you that it started in the period of 1970s, which is introduced by USA through its National Environment Policy Act. And in late 1970s and 1980s, EIA guidelines were proposed. And in the mid of 1980s, World Bank establishes EIA requirements. And the process in India, that is EIA process, is established in the year of mid 1980s, and in 1990 there is a rapid growth in EIA training. So this is a gist of history of environmental impact assessment worldwide. Environmental clearance. So this is an important certificate which we have to obtain from Ministry for Industrial Project. I have stated earlier that one. So it is refers to the getting environmental government approval for the installation and modification of the specified projects, and it is essential that for the activities that have the potential to cause severe environmental contaminations. And the government has also listed out the comprehensive projects such as mining, thermal power plants and infrastructures. All of them have to get environmental approval. And what are the documents required for environmental clearance? Uh, First one is project proposal or otherwise feasibility report. It shows you the overview of the proposed project, including its purpose, location, and scope. And the next one is EIA report, that is Environmental Impact Assessment Report, which deals with the study of the potential and environmental impacts from the proposed project. And the next one is site plans and maps. These documents will give you the details of the project site, including its boundary, topography, and land use. And another one's document required is NOC. We all know that NOC is no objection certificates or clearances from the local authorities such as SPCB, which is termed as State Pollution Control Board, and the Ministry of Urban Development or the Ministry of Civil Aviation, depending on the nature and type of the project. And details of the project proponent includes the information about the company or the individual who is proposing the project. And the last one is a public hearing report. If required, the project proponents must conducting a public hearing to obtain feedback and opinions from the local community. And the next one is environmental management plan. The EMP is a detailed plan for managing the potential environmental impacts, including the pollution control, waste management, and biodiversity conservation. And what are the requirements on environmental clearance that I have listed it? And they have classified the companies based on the color code, that is called as industrial color code. Depending on their pollution, the potential, the industries were classified as red, orange, yellow, or white. Only the companies classified as white or allowed from getting environmental permission. Laws governing environmental certificate is to provide for the conservation and enhancement of the environment and related things, environmental protection rules and IAA notification, which is issued in the year of 2006. And the next, which is the important topic called process of environmental clearance. So the first process is screening, scoping, and the next one is terms of reference. The next one, preparation of the EAA report, review and clearance, and the last one is implementation of environmental management plan. Environmental clearance certificate is essential for any new infrastructure or expansion project which is to be obtained from state or central pollution control board is necessary for beginning of any new project. And the EC certificates certifies that the project will not harm the environment or society. And the next topic is project cycle. It is a unit set of coordinated activities or jobs with definite starting and finishing points undertaken by an individual or an organization to meet specific objectives within defined schedule, cost and performance parameters. Uh, Types of projects. There are many types. First one is personal projects, local projects, organizational projects, construction of highway taken up by an organization as an example, and national projects. And the last one is global projects. Project cycle involves the 5 steps, and the first one is identification, preparation, appraisal, implementation and monitoring. The last one is evaluation, identification stage, understanding of the likely causes on linkages between existing problems and the needed actions, and there must be an in-depth knowledge and experience of local conditions, that is source of suggestions for project formulation. The next process is preparation, and the projects that survive successful identification are prepared and analyzed before money is allotted to them. And the criteria for screening of ideas is effectiveness to objective, cost of proposal, resources available, ease of implementation, time needed, scoring alternate projects based on the criteria, projects with maximum points selected for further screening and appraisal. And the next process is appraisal. There are different types, that is market appraisal, technical appraisal, financial appraisal, socio-economic appraisal, ecological appraisal. Project selection. After the appraisal of a project is selected for implementation on the basis of expected life, environmental impact, net present value, and flexibility and investment required. Implementation. A project is considered to be worthwhile at the appraisal stage, qualifies for implementation, and it is considered to have three phases. That first one is investment, and second one is development, and the last one is operation. Monitoring. It is an effective information gathering and management system that checks the progress of the project according to the plans that have been drawn up and the project objectives, and it consists of three parameters. First one is time, cost and performance, and evaluation is an ex post assessment of whether the project was worthwhile, and it should answer the questions which is whether the project been successful in attaining its objective. If not, what respect has it failed? How might its design and our implementation have been improved? And the next topic is types of EIA. And the EIA has been classified based on the purpose and the theme of the development, and the types of strategic EIA, regional EIA, sectoral EIA, project level EIA, and life cycle assessment. Strategic EIA refers to the systematic analysis of the environmental effects of development policies, plans, programs, and other proposed strategic actions. And this abbreviation is Strategic Environmental Impact Assessment, which is shortly called as SEIA. It represents a proactive approach to integrate environmental consideration into the higher level of decision making. The next one is regional EIA. In the context of regional planning, integrates environmental concerns into development planning for a geographic region, normally at the sub-country level. It is an approach which is referred to as the economic cum environmental development planning. And the next type is sectoral EIA. Instead of project level EIA, an EIA should take place in the context of regional and sectoral level planning. Once sectoral level development plans of the integrated sectoral environmental concerns addressed, the scope of the project level EIA will be quite narrow. Project level EIA refers to the development activity in isolation and the impacts that it exerts on the receiving environment. The last one is life cycle assessment. It is shortly called as LCA. It is a broader approach to deal with environmental impacts in manufacturing. It's called life cycle analysis. This process recognizes that environmental concerns enter into every step of the process with respect to the manufacturing of all the products, and thus examines the environmental impacts of the product at all the stages of the product life cycle. And the next topic is IAA process, which we discussed earlier. Screening. Screening is a categorization of the project, and from this is a decision is made whether EIA is required for that project or not. And the next one is scoping. It is the process of determining which are the most critical issues to study and will involve community participation to some degree. It is at this early stage that EIA can most strongly influence the outline proposal. Mm, Detailed prediction and mitigation studies follow up scoping and are carried out in parallel with feasibility studies. And the main output report is called an environmental impact statement and contains a detailed plan for managing and monitoring environmental impacts during implementation. Finally, an audit of the AA process is carried out. And it serves as a useful feedback, and each process is explained in detail. And the next one is terms of reference. The TOR terms of reference is a document produced by the authority conducting the EIA study. And the next one is content of terms of reference. The TOR highlights the points that need to be covered during the EIA study, which includes first one, the description of the project, its purposes and extent, and all the agencies responsible in the developmental project, the description of the existing environmental conditions in the project site and the surrounding areas, the stakeholders that will be benefited and harmed by the fulfillment of the project, the environmental aspects of the project which is likely to get affected, the impacts which is both beneficiary and adverse, that is positive and negative, and a list of description of the species endemic to the area to be affected. How in depth does the EA need to be? That is, whether baseline data is available or the study is to be sourced from secondary data, and possible alternatives for the projects in terms of design, site, technology, implementation, etc. The legal requirements of the project and future legislations that need to be drafted. Recommended mitigation strategies, the expertise required for the EIA studies, and the expected time limit for the entire EIA study, natural resource evaluation (NRV) if possible, the budget of the study also called cost benefit analysis, and the next one is setting, analysis, and mitigation. Setting, it covers the baseline and scoping. Before analyzing the impacts, we must establish the environmental setting, that is the current state of the area. First one is baseline data. The developers collect baseline data on air quality, water levels, biodiversity, and socioeconomics to understand the starting point. And the scoping, it identifies the key issues that actually need study, ensuring that other factors aren't wasted on irrelevant situations. And analysis, as the name says, it is used to determine how the project will change the setting. It is called as impact prediction, which forecasts the magnitude, duration, and frequency of potential changes. Next one is mitigation. Mitigation is an action plan to handle the analyzed impacts. It follows a strict mitigation hierarchy to ensure both the uh, effective response. First one is avoidance, the preferred first step, altering the project design or location to completely bypass an impact, minimization, reducing the scale of uh, severity of the impacts that cannot be avoided, and restoration and rehabilitation, that is repairing the damage after it occurs, such as replanting trees post construction, and offsetting. The last process is the offsetting one, and creating that benefits welfare to replace that what was lost. Cross-sectoral issues is in environmental impact assessment, or the complex challenges and impacts that extend across different economic and social domains, requiring an integrated and collaborative approach rather than a single factor analysis. The main point is that it requires an integrated and collaborative approach, not a single sector analysis. And the next one is public hearing. In the previous slides, I have told about the word called public hearing. It is a form of participation in which stakeholders and proponents are brought together in a forum to express their opinions and offer suggestions on a proposed undertaking in order to influence the decision making process. So public hearing aim is to influence the decision making process. It is usually uh, organized by the Environmental Protection Agency within the project area of influence and moderated by an independent panel. The procedure of public hearing is that first one is to introduce the panelists, traditional leaders, government department staff, representatives of all community groups and non-governmental organizations and individuals. The main purpose and objective of this public hearing are made clear to the participants. Proponent is given an opportunity to make a presentation on the project EIS, that is environmental impact statements. This must be done in a local language to facilitate better understanding of issues, and should pay particular attention to those issues that are likely to affect the local community. Directly, representatives of the affected communities and other stakeholders also present their opinions and concerns about the proposal. Proponent is then given an opportunity to react to the substantive issues and concerns raised. Panel members collate all the concerns raised and make the recommendations known to the forum and then to the Environmental Protection Agency. And seeing to objectives of public hearing, it is a forum for the proponent to inform the entire community of the outcome of the environmental assessment of proposed undertakings, and to verify the accuracy of the EIA findings, and to confirm that all the affected parties and stakeholders have been adequately consulted and have been part of the various decision making processes, to offer the affected and interested parties and as well as other stakeholders the opportunity to express their opinion on any issues, and to promote effective public participation is the main objective of public hearing. Reasons for public hearing is that the expected environmental impacts are considered extensive and far-reaching. There is great adverse public reaction to a proposal, and there will be a relocation or a dislocation of community, so that for these reasons public hearing is organized. Outcomes of the public hearings: the panel submit a report making its findings and recommendations to the decision making authorities, that is to the Environmental Protection Agency, and the agency is arriving its final decision will consider these concerns and recommendations. When the final decision is made on the project EIS, the Ministry of Environment, the appropriate sector minister, and the appropriate authority and the relevant government departments notifies the proponent. Benefits of public hearing: it provides an interaction between the proponents and all interested groups, allowing people to articulate their views and harmonious relationship between the proponents and affected communities, creating confidence in the newly established EIA. And the next one is EIA Consultant Accreditation. This scheme is managed by the National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, NABET. It is a constituent board of the Quality Control Council of India. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change requires that only accredited consultants organizations can prepare and present EIA and environmental management plan reports for the obtaining the environmental clearances. And the slide shows you the requirements for accreditation. And the benefit of the accreditation is it provides several benefits to both consultant and project proponents, including mark of quality via NABET logo, which increases the business growth and reduced risk during the investment and approval phase of a project. So with this, I conclude the gist of the Unit 1, Introduction of Environmental Impact Assessment, and the remaining chapters we will see in the upcoming series. Thank you.